Hey everybody, good morning, hope you can hear me. We are thrilled to talk to you today about how we can transform groups. My name is Arun, I'm one of the PMs on the Office Groups team, and with me I have Sahil.
Hi, I'm Sahil. I'm one of the PMs in Office 365 Groups team.
Both of us have our Twitter handles here, so you can reach out to us anytime during the session, after the session, and you can think of us as your lifeline support anytime you need to have any questions on groups answered. So let's get started, talk about the groups platform. So this is a question we often get is, hey, what is the groups platform and how does it work with Teams and SharePoint and so on? The way to think about it is we have a lot of collaboration experiences in Office, and groups is the unified platform that powers all these solutions. We have over 20 apps in the Office suite that are connected to groups, and we also have a rich and growing ecosystem of partner apps that are using groups to leverage membership. The key value point that we want to get across here is that we want groups to be the fundamental construct using which you as admins can manage all these collaboration experiences. So it doesn't matter if people are working with Teams, if they're working with SharePoint, if they're working with Planner, at the end, all of it is the same group. And in this session, we're going to be talking about what are all the governance capabilities that we have built in the groups platform so you can empower your users with our latest innovations. So first off, let's talk about Shadow IT. When we posted about the session on Twitter, we got a question saying, hey, what is Shadow IT and why is it important for us to understand? Very simple way to think about it is, we as tech leaders are empowering users in our tenants and organizations to achieve more. But sometimes when they feel like they are not getting access to the right set of tools and capabilities, what they do is they end up resorting to tools that are outside our compliance bound. So they go ahead and start using capabilities that we are not even aware of, and the data starts to slowly move away. And that is exactly what we refer to as Shadow IT. And it is up to us to make sure that we provide them the right set of tools that empowers them, but also it's set up in a way where there's the right guardrails. And in this session, we're going to focus on 5 key things that we have delivered in the Groups platform. These are governance tools that we're going to go deep on. We'll go show you a demo of how to set up each of those. And we believe with these, you can really empower your end users to have the right balance between self-service, where they can go ahead and solve their problems while still making sure we keep the overall platform healthy and secure. So on that note, the first capability that we want to talk about today is information protection. So many of you might be familiar with IP labels. So this is the unified labels that is available across the suite that's used in documents and emails. And at this Ignite, we are very proud and excited to announce that we're bringing that same capability into groups. Before we go into that quick question, how many of you are already using IP labels in your tenants? Cool. So we see that a few of you are using it. The main aspect about how this powers groups collaboration is something that we often hear is, hey, with self-service, all my users are going and creating all these public groups while I really want them to create only private groups. Or I want my users to only be able to create internal collaboration groups while they are going and empowered to do these external collaboration groups. Is there an easy way for me where I can allow them to solve their basic scenarios in self-service and then come to me for more advanced scenarios? And this is exactly what the IP labels allows us to do. So let me switch and show you a demo. So we're going to start with the Microsoft Admin Center. And right in the Admin Center, you have a capability to just click and open the Security and Admin Center. So in the Security Admin Center, under classifications, the first topic is going to be sensitivity labels. And in sensitivity labels in this demo, I've set up 4 labels for our tenant. As you can see, they are general, internal, highly confidential, and external. If we jump into internal, the way I've configured this is to say that this label, what it means is when it's applied to a group, the group will be automatically made private, and it is also not enabled for external collaboration. Similar to this, we have set up 3 other labels, and all of these have the same exact settings of being internal. Now let's say I as an admin have decided that I'm okay with everybody in my company going and creating these private groups that are only allowed for internal collaboration. The way I'm going to roll it out is go to the label policies. I'm going to set up a policy by starting and picking the set of labels that I want. So here you can see that I've picked only the top 3 labels, the general, internal, and highly confidential, which allow for internal collaboration, and I've explicitly not enabled the external collaboration label. So after picking the labels that I want to deploy, I go ahead and pick who are the users that I want to deploy these labels to. So in this case, I'm picking my entire org. And once this is done, I'm going to go ahead, update the settings. And here's an important aspect as a part of configuring the labels, is you can also decide what is the default that you want for your users. Most of your business users are going to rely on defaults, so this allows you to pick the default, and as and when they need, they can go to other options. The other setting that we would encourage having is the required label. So what this means is, irrespective of what app they're using, they could be creating a group in Teams or Yammer or SharePoint and so on. This enforces that every single group is created with a label and hence set up for compliance. So after these labels are created and published, let's switch into the IW scenario on how would an end user consume these labels. Now let's say they go ahead and say create a group. You can see that by default, right away, the first default that we picked, the internal label, has been picked up. And it also clearly tells the user that this group is available only for internal collaboration, and it's a private group. Assuming a user wants to go in and go update the other things, if he wants to create, say, a general group, which could be public, they get those options as well, or they can go ahead and tag it as highly confidential. But across all these cases, we can see that the group is always internal and no guest is allowed. Right now at Ignite, we have this capability live for Outlook as well as SharePoint sites. So when we create a new SharePoint site as well, you have the same experience, where the focus is going to be more on the sensitivity label, where they pick what kind of content they are making and less on the privacy. In a couple of weeks, we're going to make this a public preview. You're going to see an announcement come out. And at that point, we're going to be able to support this across Outlook, Teams, as well as SharePoint. And as a fast follow, we're going to bring this capability across all the apps that leverage groups. In terms of rollout, a couple of things for you to consider is the first is we encourage you to start with a small audience and use the rollout capability to then initiate your first set of pilot users and then expand. The second aspect is around education. I think till now people have always been thinking about, hey, I want to create a team, hey, I want to create a plan. Encourage your users to think about what is the use case and scenario that they are creating these groups for. And so that will lead to the kind of labels that you can roll out, and hence that by itself enforces compliance. Next, we want to go to the topic of expiration. One of the feedbacks we've got over the last few years as groups has gotten virally adopted across the Office suite is that, hey, my users are creating too many groups. They create all these groups that are short-lived, and over time, all these groups are leading to sort of a sprawl and clutter, and is there a way for me to easily rein on that? So we took that feedback, and early last year, we launched a capability called group expiration. So as you can, as we know, the way the feature works is, as an admin, you have the ability to define a particular time window, and periodically, the owner has to go in and recertify that this group is still valid and they need it. Whenever they don't go and certify or revalidate, the group does get deleted. One feedback that we've heard over the last year was that sometimes users are busy and they don't always pay attention to these notification emails, and as a result, what happens is some groups that are business critical end up getting deleted. So at this Ignite, we are thrilled to share that we have added a new intelligence capability that automatically renews groups based on activity. So in this example, you can see that whenever a group is being used either in Outlook, SharePoint, or Teams, we collect all the signals, and using those signals, we automatically renew the group. We've done a private preview with about 50 customers so far on this capability, and we've noticed that it reduces manual intervention by more than 60%. So we would really encourage all of you to go ahead and turn on the expiration capability. Let me show you a demo of how you can set that up. So the way we are going to start is we're going to go to the Azure AD portal, which is portal.azure.com. And right there, you're going to see the Groups tab. So once we go into the Groups tab, So this is the landing page that you'll come to. Here again, one thing to note is we've been working a lot on the admin experience. So we've introduced an improved experience here that you can go ahead and turn on in the Azure AD. So right here, you have your controls for how you want to manage these groups. So if you go to the expiration policy, here you have the option of picking the timeline. So this could be any timeline over 30 days. We have found through public preview with our customers that typically they go for either 1 quarter, 90 days, or 2 quarters, 180 days. And after this is set up, you can go ahead and roll it out. One scenario to be aware of is there might be groups for which there are no owners. So in order to make sure that those groups don't get lost, we have the ability for you to pick an email address that would get notified whenever these ownerless groups are about to be deleted. And in terms of rollout, we allow for a phased rollout. So you can start with expiry, where you can go into the selected mode. You can pick a small set of groups that you want to test out, maybe a few departments, try out the way the feature is working out, make sure your users understand that now they have to take responsibility and renew these groups if they are not under active use. And once that happens, the recommendation ideally is you go switch it on to all. So what this really allows is, as an admin, through a combination of IP labels and expiry policies, you can allow everybody to go create these self-service groups. And whenever these groups are no longer under active use, they'll get automatically purged. In case any of these groups do not have activity, we do want to make sure that the owners know that there's an action required on them. So for that, what we have done is in terms of the IW experience, we've updated both the Teams and Outlook experiences to clearly call out that the group is about to expire. So in this case, in Teams, when I, as a user, go to Teams, I can see that I see an exclamation icon and a note saying this group is about to be deleted and it requires action from me. Similarly, on the Outlook experience as well, when we go to manage groups to a portal, what we call as the Groups Hub, as an owner, I can see that there are action items required of me. And right away, I can see that these groups are about to expire, and I need to go ahead and hit renew in case I need to keep these groups around. There could be a scenario where one of these groups, despite these notifications, do get deleted, and users might want to restore this. So in order to make sure that users can easily restore it, we have an ability for users to go right into the deleted portal in the OI experience, Outlook Web Experience, and then go restore it themselves. While you as an admin can still do it from the Azure portal, if you can educate your users that these capabilities are available, we believe this will significantly help you keep the cost and load under control. So next up, we have the guest experience, and I would request Sahil.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Thank you, Arun, for these amazing demos. So for next 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about guest access, groups admin role, and naming policy. I'm going to start with guest access because that feature is really close to my heart. I've seen that feature starting from 0 users to 8 million users. And I personally feel that this is one of the areas where users are using shadow IT a lot. Because the world is changing, there are more and more gig economy, the notion of gig economy is coming into picture. You are collaborating with external companies, external organizations more than you've done in past. So in order for you to have a smooth experience, my recommendation would be that you should enable guest access. And today, 98% of the tenants have enabled guest access, and they are using guest access in some capacity or the other across the globe. In fact, there is a tenant in Antarctica using guest access, so you can imagine the reach of this feature. So there is a ton of documentation around guest access. It's been guest access has been out for past 3 years. Last year, we released in Microsoft Teams as well. I'm going to start with basic. I'm not going to spend much time on this one. I covered this in last Ignite as well, but quickly just to give some context. At a fundamental level, I always recommend users to think when they are enabling guest access into 3 axes: who can invite guests, who can be invited as guests, and which of the groups where you want guests. So for who can invite guests, there's a guest inviter role which you can use. There's a documentation on that, how you can enable that. For who can be invited as guests, there's a domain restriction policy. It's both available in PowerShell as well as in the AAD portal. You can also migrate your SharePoint policies if you've enabled that in past. And also, you can do it at group level. This works like a charm with label-based classification, which Arun demoed. Also, you can go to PowerShell and enable it for group. Last year, I demoed guest access review. And one of the reasons that we demoed guest access review was that for first year, people were adopting guest access. And after a year, they are having a tough time to manage guest access at scale. So guest access review let you set up a guest expiry policy, guest lifecycle, so that after a certain period of time, the guest, if it's not required in the organization, they can be deleted out of the directory. This year, the feature that we are going to have GA and we are going to announce the preview is the entitlement management. We worked extensively with AAD team to enable this feature. Consider a scenario where Contoso as an organization needs to work with Fabricam. Fabricam is a design company. The way collaboration starts, you are in Contoso, they have certain marketing resources, they are using Teams, they're using SharePoint, they're using Outlook. And then you have these users in a different tenant, in a different organization called Fabricam. One of the big questions that as an IT admin, I'm sure you must have experienced, how can you make sure that these users get onboarded onto these resources fast? Also, the process today is very cumbersome. The user requests and it gets approved. So it takes a lot of manpower and it also takes a lot of friction for the end users to get this scenario enabled. Also, on a Contoso side, you want to make sure that you are sharing resources on a simple way, and also you want to make sure that it is done in a secure and compliant way. Also, when there's a new user joins the Fabricam design, the process is repeated all over again. So entitlement management is your solution, and I'm going to demo that, how you can use entitlement management. Okay, cool. So I log in myself as the admin of Contoso organization. You can see when I land at the home page, there's this new module called identity governance. This is the place where you can create access package. What is access package? Access package is nothing but a collection of resources, and I'll show you what exactly it can contain. So in the interest of time, I have already created a package for Contoso design team, but I'll still walk you through the process. You go to the new access package, you give it a name, description, and catalog. Basically, it's the container where you're going to keep the access package. This is where we worked with the AAD team to include groups and team as part of resources. So resources could be a groups and a team. It could be a SharePoint site. It could be an application in case if you want to give access to an application. Here, if you click on that, you get the list of all the groups you can select, and you can also tie certain groups to the catalog. For example, if you have some highly confidential group, you can exclude them into this from this list. In terms of requests, this is where you select whether this package should be accessed by an external organization or not. So if I click on this for users not in my directory, I can use specific connected organizations. So in my case, I have already connected a Fabricam organization with the with Contoso. So I can select that, or I can use other connected organization. And the moment I enable it for external user, I can enable the approval. And in case of approval, I can have external, internal, or I can even choose the specific approval. So in the package, I have selected Alex as the approver. Once you've done that, you can also enforce a lifecycle, which is also a very good thing, that this package, you don't have to go out of your way to set up a lifecycle of this package. So you can select how long do you want to, how long you want to have this package, for a year, for certain date, and then you can go and create. Once you've created this package, this is how the package is going to look like. And then you will get this, this URL, which you can share with external users in your company. So in my case, I am going to share this with Megan. Megan is one of the designers from Fabricam. And you can see the Megan is in a different tenant. I go here, I get an access to this link. Okay. Well, it's a bad day for me, I guess. Okay. So I can do one workaround. So what usually happens is that when Megan requests this through this portal, Alex, who is the final approver for this package, received this mail that Megan has requested for this, and then Alex can also go to this My Apps link portal where he can see the request history, he can see approval, he can also manage the access review. And once he approves, he provides the right business justification, Megan automatically gets added to the group. And if you see here, Megan was added to this group as a guest user. You can see the welcome email, which is for the guest, and Megan can also access Teams. So this was demo for the whole entitlement management setup. You can do it for your internal users as well. So this feature is going out on GA for internal users, and it's in preview for external users. So I would highly recommend to try this feature out. The second, okay. The second feature that I'm going to talk about is groups admin role. So this is the problem that we've heard from so many of you, that to enable groups management capability, the admin would require a global administrator role, which is a very high privileged role. And in order to dabble between AAD portal, Office 365 portal, it is a very high privileged role. So like SharePoint Exchange admin role, we've now introduced a groups admin role, which is inbuilt part of the role management, and I'll show you as part of the demo. And you can enroll your help desk to have this group admin role, where they can manage groups in both AAD portal as well as Office 365 admin portal. The recommendation from our side would be that you start with the small subset of members, admins, and then extend it to more and more admins as per your requirement. So let's get into the demo for that. So I'm logged in here as an admin. I go to the AAD directory, and now when I click on roles and administrator, I'll see there's a new role added here, which is called Groups Administrator. And when I click here, I can see who are the users. So I have Pradeep and I have Rahul, who have been assigned this role. So this role can be by default, it's part of the AAD package, but in case if you want to set this up through PowerShell, there's also a PowerShell script where you have this role template ID. Which I can share to you after the session in case you need. Let me log in as Rahul. So I'm logged in here as Rahul. I go to the Office portal. I click on the admin. I see the groups, and here I can see, I see the list of all the groups. I can manage them. I can add a new group. I can edit some properties. I can enable Microsoft Teams. So I can change it to public group. I can allow external sender. These are all dynamic groups. Okay. And then when I go to the Azure AD portal, here also I can manage groups. So another thing I want to talk about is the naming policy. We GA'd this feature sometime around February, and this time we are demoing it in the UX, in the AAD UX. So you can manage naming policy by uploading a CSV file for customized. If you want to update the block list, you can download the CSV file, you can update it and then upload it. You can also set up the prefix and suffix for the naming policy. So this naming policy has been updated. I think this. Now coming back to the so these are the demos that we had. Coming back to the wrapping up the session. So you've seen these 5 tools which you can use to manage the groups, as well as you can eliminate the shadow IT. The recommendation here would be that go through these documentation after this session. Feel free to ask us any question. We can help you in terms of enabling it for your organization. There is also one slide that we want to present. This is the kind of a summary of case study that how Microsoft enable groups at such a large scale. Microsoft is a very big company. It has all the possible permutation combination in terms of compliance requirement. We have distributed development centers in different countries. We have centers in Europe. So in Microsoft, we support self-service and we enable lifecycle. The way we do that is our creation is tied to the dynamic group for the full-time employees. It's a security group, and every time whenever a new employee joins, this self-service creation capability is enabled for them. We don't have prefix and suffix, but we do have block group list. For example, we don't support anybody to create a group with the name Satya, because that's our CEO name. And for lifecycle, we have 180 days policy, and groups must be renewed. And if it doesn't get renewed, the groups get deleted. We have usage guidelines. This is something which has been very helpful for us, where we give them proper guidance, how they can use groups, how they should manage groups for owners. And then the language that we've used for usage guidelines is pretty concise, succinct, so that users actually read that. For compliance, we use label-based classification, which was demoed by Arun. We also have custom jobs which set privacy to private and also manage external sharing. We also support multi-geo because we have our users in different part of the world. We also have access review for guest users, the one that I told about. And then we also have site templates for specific to the division. For example, if you create a SharePoint site in sales department, you will get the specific site template. And then we have custom jobs because to enforce ownership, because we want to make sure that there are 2 owners in the organization or per group. Okay. In terms of roadmap, so last year we had 10 items in our roadmap, and out of 10 we've delivered 9. This year our roadmap is, the first item that we have for our roadmap is to use label-based classification and make it to a GA, make it available for GA. The one that you've seen demo is in preview. We want to extend capability of group admin role. As of now, group admin role can only does specific group-related activities. We want to make sure that it does SharePoint and team-specific things as well. We are improving our admin center. We are improving, making it pretty, making it snappy for you to use admin center and make changes from there. For dynamic groups, we are working to increase the scale of dynamic groups. When I say scale, it means that the number of members that it can have. We are also working on to support information barrier. This is something very specific to teams that we are working on. And on Yammer side, we are working to support native mode. And last, this is what we wanted to do last year, group-driven membership. But because of some technical reason, we couldn't really complete it. So we'll be continue working on group-driven membership to support your nesting membership scenarios, exposing security groups on cloud. We'll be working on that, and then we'll try to finish it by the next Ignite. For call to action, I would highly recommend to take a picture of this. You have all of these links, and all of these links contain specific case studies, specific documentation to start onboarding groups. The first is creating a governance plan that includes how you can make sure that your groups are governed. The second is for enabling self-service. The recommendation is to enable self-service, how you could do it successfully, how you could do it at scale. Third is engage with Fast Track. Fast Track is Microsoft service that helps you to deploy M365. They have a booth in Ignite. I would highly recommend if your organization in a process to transition it to cloud, this would be the good point to begin with. Enable analytics to understand usage. We do support certain type of reports, such as number of groups created, number of guests in the organization, and also what are the resources that users are using. We also provide logs. So in case if you want to build your custom Power BI dashboards, you can go ahead and you can build that as well. Connect with the community. There is a community of people that can help you to enable groups and at a large scale, enable teams at large scale. And also check out our blog. We use this blog post to push our constant update. Any new changes, any new features that we do, we push it there. This is for the Fast Track. They help you to deploy M365, and they also help you to deploy Windows 10 as well. Any questions? I think we have 10 minutes. I think both Arun and I can take your questions.
So there are mics available. So if you can come to the mics and if you have any questions, we can go through that. I know governance is a moving target. So we've released a bunch of features, but if there are other gaps that you feel that we should be adding, let us know.
Hi.
You'll also be available at the
Sorry, this is Kaushik. from Rishmo. So you mentioned in your last slide natively with Yammer. Now, the open question for many of us over here is, what is the roadmap of Yammer's external access or external network? Because they have an external network. You have Office 365 groups over here. How does this match?
That's a great question. So for Yammer, the main way to think about it is, Yammer was an acquisition we made about 7 years back, and we've been in the path of integrating Yammer more and more with M365. Right now, we are working on a major initiative to make sure all Yammer groups are connected to 365 groups. So similar to how you can govern teams using groups, how you can govern SharePoint sites using groups, moving forward, you'll be able to govern Yammer using groups platform. And that is exactly what native mode is all about. And specifically around external collaboration, Yammer today has a divergent external model, where they have their own list of users where you can manage them. And as a part of this connection, what will happen is complete external collaboration will be groups driven. So similar to whatever tools that Sahil showed us in terms of user, domain, restrictions, everything that you set up in the groups platform will automatically get applied to Yammer. In terms of a roadmap and timelines, we're looking at summer of next year to have a preview for the connected guest experience in Yammer. We can catch up offline. I can walk you through more of our work.
We've been using groups now for a while, and we're starting to have issues where someone leaves and they were the owner of a group or they were members of groups, and then I have people requesting me saying, hey, this person left, what groups did they own, who do I need to talk to, where do we get access to all their stuff, were there any groups that they were the single owner, single member of, and obviously I can do this with PowerShell, but I'm trying to enable some of my teams that don't work in PowerShell or are not comfortable with the command line and trying to do it through the GUI. Is there any way or any ideas to surface that information? For example, go to groups and say, show me every group, pick a person and say, hey, here's all the groups that they're the owner of, or something along those lines, or am I missing it somewhere?
No, I think it's a very valid point, and we've heard this feedback around how do we enable ownerless groups. That is on our roadmap. And we
Not even ownerless groups, like for example, an owner leaves. So I had someone who just left yesterday and I need to find all the stuff, and there's no way for me to go say, hey, what groups was Cheryl the owner of? I can't click on Cheryl and say, show me all the groups that she was the owner of, and maybe the only member of. So then there could be all kinds of content or things that are stuck in there, and then when you combine that with an automatic expiration policy, it's going to go off to this list of people that they get hundreds of them every day to go, oh, well, I don't know if to approve that or not, and who knows what stuff can suddenly get lost or gone. So I'm trying to understand how to work through that particular set of scenarios.
Yeah. So in terms of the overlap with the expiration policy, the way we have thought through is right now we don't have a perfect model of making sure that whenever a person leaves, a delegate is put in place for groups. And what we have is the catch-all experience, where you have someone who's going to take a responsibility for groups without owners, and then make sure that those groups don't get deleted, if they have critical content. That's not ideal, but we acknowledge the feedback, and we want to work through it.
Yeah, I would just suggest if you find someone or you're in the group's admin, the ability to say, right now it says the number of owners of a group, surfacing who those owners are, being able to filter, so I could say, here's all the groups, I want to see who search by that owner, and there would be very helpful for, well, at least my situation. I'm sure others as well. Thank you.
Thanks for the feedback.
I also had the same question which you just now asked, and I asked this just for info because I asked this downstairs in the booth to the department which is known as Access Review. So they mentioned, Rahul, he mentioned that they are in their roadmap in the next 6 months, that if a person is changing a position, so imagine I come and join your team, and he's my previous line manager. So the old line manager will get a list of spaces which I was part of, and then you will get that based on the colleagues' recommendation. So this is the roadmap which Rahul from the Active Directory Access Review mentioned to me yesterday, which links back to both our questions somehow in some percentage.
And I think specifically adding to that Access Review point, so Access Review, as part of the roadmap, they're also working to make sure that if somebody leaves the company, there is a fallback. Even the one that I demoed, there was an option to set up a fallback user, which is usually the admin. So in case the owner leaves the company or their account gets deleted, you have a fallback to look up to.
It's a P2 license.
Yeah, it's P2, AAD P2. Yeah.
Okay.
V5.
We've been using we started out using self-service. The group sprawl became untenable. So we started down the path, and now we have a flow where people submit their group requests. But now that requires somebody on my IT team to then go into the admin tool to create the group. Is there any talk or conversations around an approval process, where somebody could do a governance check? The prefix and suffix and blocked words is okay, but it's not enough. That somebody can say, oh, okay, it's fulfilling the standard, approve, and it goes through, and then my IT people don't have to go in and create that group for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that has been, so that is something that we have looked into, and we recently launched a capability where owners can approve membership using the capability called, Outlook actionable messages with one click. And we are exploring some hacks around saying, is it possible for us where the target list of users who are going to approve, maybe they get an email with the group configuration, and right within the email they can click approve and approve it. But it's right now in a very early design phase.
Hi. I'm curious, where's the best place to manage groups? Because we rely heavily on Teams, and not all groups show up in Teams. And you in your demo showed going to Outlook to manage some groups, but Teams don't show up there normally. So what's the best way to manage it? Will this get better, come together? Will I see Teams in group, or should I go to my access?
So let's break it into two personas. One is for the IT admin and one is for the end user.
Mostly for the end user.
Yeah, so for end users, we are actively working on making sure that these groups work together cohesively, and not just for Teams and Outlook, also for Yammer, because even today the Yammer groups are in a island mode. You've seen the first step towards that was that from Outlook, you can share an email or a content to Teams or its channel. This was demoed this year. Hopefully next year you will see more and more seamless integration. We are working towards it, and yeah, hopefully you'll see that next year. Good.
I'm wondering, and I'm not sure if you will be able to answer this question, but for Exchange shared mailboxes, will guest access ever be allowed?
For shared mailboxes?
Yeah, I don't think it's in roadmap.
Yeah,
Shared mailbox.
yeah, we're not very actively investing in shared mailboxes or even site mailboxes.
Yeah.
We want groups to be the future solution on that. So
Yeah.
just to be transparent.
Guest access.
Yeah, we don't have a plan for that, but I would love to hear your scenario, and let's see if we can help Office 365 groups to model that scenario for you in place of shared mailbox.
Can I stop over afterwards, or you want to hear my scenario now, or?
We can talk later.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be here after the session. Yeah.
Got any guidance for retroactive application of guest access policies or packages? 'Cause we've got a lot of guests that are already there and they didn't sign in to approve any packages.
Yeah. So the recommendation would be that when you apply guest review policy, the guest lifecycle, that applies to all the guests that were before and that you'll add in future. You can do a one round of cleanup using that, and then going forward, any guest that you invite, you can pass on this link, and they can be accessed through this review. Yeah.
Guest access review.
Yeah. Start with that and then use this thing. Cool.
I have a question about applying expiration policies. The problem that we have right now is that we have like 20,000 teams right now with Office 365 groups. And if our concern or leadership concern is that if we apply expiration policies now, suddenly we're going to have like, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds of expiration of teams kind of immediately, because it will, basically, there's going to be a lot of sites. Is there a way that or are you thinking about maybe a way that I can say, well, can we apply expiration policies to a specific OU instead of like the entire company, for example, to like kind of do it on stages maybe?
So you're talking about group expiry or guest expiration?
No, I'm talking about the group expiration, yes.
So for group expiry, in the UI that I was showing in the Azure portal, there's a way to say selected groups, where you can pick a set of groups to try it out with, and then you can slowly expand the list and eventually say all. We don't have a capability where you can go by OU, like saying all groups that belong to a particular OU, but we do have a way to phase it out. And that's our recommendation as well, is you start with a small phase, see how it goes. Make sure that your education reaches your users. I think the technical part is going to be easy. Making sure users realize that they need to take actions on their inactive groups is their key.
Could you apply by OU?
No, you cannot. No. So right now it's only a list of groups to which you can apply expiry, or you can say all groups. There's other flavors, but we have not gone into doing that.
Okay, so, sorry, another question that I just thought about, the naming convention. Is there a way that apply retroactively to what's created already?
No, right now there's no way to retroactively apply. The reason being, if there's an incompatibility, there's a user action involved. So
Yes.
either you could script it in PowerShell, where you can go and apply it yourself. It only applies going forward.
Okay, fair, thank you.
Hi. We're avoiding group sprawl, so we're limiting the creation of groups to our IT folks. And you mentioned that in Microsoft you use multi-geo. Most of our ITs are in East US region, so how can we pick a region for that group specifically instead of using the preferred owners region?
So just so I understand, at the time of group creation, you want the admin to be able to pick a region
Yeah,
at the time of group
the region.
creation. Got it. No, we don't support that yet, but that's good feedback.
Okay.
So we look into that. Thanks.
Delegated permissions to manage specific set of groups, for example. Try to use administrative units that works somewhere in Exchange, but for groups, and this looks like kind of incomplete story at the moment.
Sorry?
So
Yeah, we should end this.
what are your plans going forward with that? For now, if I understand, you have like this admin permission, admin role could be set like it's all or nothing, right?
So just to understand more, do you want to restrict the scope of the admin role to only certain units and not be globally available? Is that the? Okay. So right now we don't have that in the plans. So right now it's not in the plan for the next 1 year.
Yeah.
To support administrative
I think we can take
groups
this
for management.
in the corner.
The concept is not dying. So I'm just being transparent about what we can do in the next 1 year, just to set expectations. The feedback is taken and we'll look into it. Like Sahil was mentioning, there were a few other key items like nesting of groups, making sure we support archival. Those scenarios we want to tackle first. That's it.
So just a confirmation on auto renewal of groups based on Teams activity. Is that available in all tenants right now? Because our experience as recently as this week is that when a group was expired, it had recent Teams activity. So just trying to determine, is that released to all tenants?
It has been released to all tenants, and we can catch up offline. What you're describing does seem like a bug. The only thing that we've done with auto renewal expiries, we've made sure that it is explicit user actions. So a bot posting to a channel or somebody not taking an explicit action is not counted. So we could follow up to make sure that
Okay.
what is it that we're missing.
Thank you.
Looking for specific guidance on what the story should be for retaining content after a group is deleted. If there are not necessarily explicit retention policies set on it, all the activity in Teams may still be relevant, but they don't need to be seen in somebody's Teams. Or the SharePoint library is still very relevant, but it's just not accessed anymore.
Yeah. So that is a gap in our life cycle. I think there are multiple states, and one of the states is the sort of the archived state, and we don't have support for that yet. But it is on the roadmap for us to support it. Yeah, I think we're a little bit over time, so we'll be available downstairs. We can chat. We'll also available in the booth. Thank you all for coming, and please do fill out the session valuations.